Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made these 3D fruit nails, which are perfect for summer and so fun. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to make these. The first thing that I did was pick up my tips, which were Unigella medium oval. I got these off of Amazon. And I'm going to size them out, make sure that they fit sidewall to sidewall, and put them down on my nail stand. I plan on editing this video differently from my first one. In my last video, I sped up clips that were of just like me painting a solid color of gel polish on a nail. Things that I didn't think that y'all really wanted to see, but I don't actually know. This video, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave things more real time, but the video is going to be longer because of that. So if y'all can pretty please leave a comment and let me know which one you prefer. That would be so helpful. Now I'm going to be taking just a wooden hand file and I'm going to file off the little end of the tip. Do you see that right there? I'm going to file that off. That just comes with nail tips from, I guess, the manufacturing process, and we don't want those there. File them off. And this here is a really good example of a part of the video that I would typically speed up, but let me know if you want to watch it like this in real time or if you want me to speed it up. Now it's time to get started on the nail art. I'm going to start with the thumb and go one finger at a time. This nail is going to be the kiwi. So I'm taking this lime green color and I'm going to apply one coat and then give it a full cure. And this polish, you see that sticker on the top that says 81? That is from my organization system. That is not the like official, I guess, color name from Beetles. That is covered up by the sticker. So I can't tell you exactly what it is, but just, you know, a kiwi green. Now I'm going to be grabbing a disposable nail palette and a white gel liner. The gel liner that I'm going to be using is the Level Up Liner by Nails by Dev, which I love. And then this step is really important. Make sure you get black liner gel somehow on your fingers and clean it off. And I'm just taking the tiniest bit of this white liner and putting it on my palette. Honestly, that much that I just put on is too much. So that tells you how very little you need. And now I'm taking these ombre nail sponges that come with a metal applicator. It's like a little grabby tool. I got this whole set off of Amazon. And now I'm just going to dab my sponge in the white gel polish and then dab it straight into the middle of this nail. I'm making an aura effect, or like an aura nail, if you know what that is. And oops, got something on it. Better, nope, not on the sponge. Yep, better try to get that off. As soon as I am happy with how that looks, I'm going to put it in my lamp for a full 60-second cure. Next, we need a liner brush, and I reached for my all-time favorite. It's a Nails by Dev brush. This is the Hella Cute liner. It is awesome. And now we are going to be making the center of the kiwi. I'm going to actually put up a picture of the middle of a kiwi so that you can kind of get visually what I'm talking about. But we're essentially making the lines that are coming out of that middle, most white part. And it's going to be kind of in like a sunburst pattern. As far as these lines go, they do not need to be perfect. They don't need to all be the same size or line width. They just kind of need to be random and all over the place. And when I first started doing this, I was doing it way too perfect. And so toward the end, I kind of go in and make it a little more random and it looks better. But when I said that it needed to be random, I didn't mean that random. Also, don't touch uncured gel with your bare fingers, Shelby. And this is where I go in and make it look a little bit more random. And then when I'm happy with it, I'm gonna cure it in my lamp. Now we have to make little kiwi seeds. And I'm gonna be using this Baddest Black Gel Liner from Nails by Dev and a dotting tool. And I'm gonna make little seeds in random shapes and random sizes. Then I'm gonna cure it in my lamp for 60 seconds. Now I'm gonna make it look like the kiwi is wet. And I'm gonna do this using my Gen B Crazy Top Thick Gel and a random liner brush. This one's by Beetles. And I'm just gonna make essentially water droplets on the surface of this nail. In between each water droplet, when it's exactly how I want it to be, I'm going to flash cure it with a little flash cure lamp that I got from a cart, literally just for a few seconds. You don't need to do it for very long, and that will just kind of secure it exactly where it is, and it won't self-level or move around on you, and then you can move on to making the next one. As soon as I'm happy with how this looks, I'm gonna cure it in my lamp. And now all that's left is putting on a shiny top coat. And that is it for the thumb. It's a cute little kiwi. And now we're gonna do the pointer finger, and that is gonna be a strawberry. The first thing that I'm gonna do is paint this nail red. The red that I chose is from Van Risa. It's number 117. I got it on Amazon. It was a part of a set, I believe. But any strawberry red will do just fine. And I'm only gonna put one coat of this on and then fully cure it in the lamp. Now I'm going to paint the leaves on the top of the strawberry and putting these on the cuticle area. I'm going to be using Slime Time. This is another gel liner from Nails by Dev and that same Hella Cute liner brush. And I'm just going to paint some strawberry leaves. Now I'm taking the All That liner gel by Nails by Dev, and I'm going to be using this yellow to make the strawberry seeds. So I'm going to try to space them out as evenly as I can, and I'm going to make them into teeny little raindrop shapes. I'm sorry that most of this is out of focus. My camera was focusing on my hand, and so it's a little blurry, but hang in there. Hopefully you can still get the gist of what I'm doing, and later it gets better. Once that is fully cured, we are going to make this strawberry more 3D using this Crazy Top thick gel and that Beetles liner brush from before. And we're basically going to make like a crisscross pattern going around the seeds. And just like the water droplets on the kiwi, I'm going to flash cure in between each line that I make so that it doesn't move or self-level or not look exactly the way I want it to. It's around this time in the video when I realized that I meant to put shading on my strawberry leaves. So I'm gonna full cure that really quick and switch gears for a second and get out my Nails by Dev shading gel and highlight gel and put them out on a palette. These gels are basically like a sheer black or like a jelly black and a sheer milky white. And you can just paint this over things and add shading and highlighting without having to like exactly match the color except a shade darker or lighter. You can just use these. I definitely recommend the shading gel. It is absolutely a must if you're doing nail art. The highlight gel, there's so many milky whites out there. You can get away with using any of them for that. But definitely I would get the shading gel. After I'm done with the shading, I'm going to cure that into place and then I'm going to move on to the highlight. After curing, I can finally get back to the 3D line work that we were doing before, and I go over all of these lines twice. I think I'm only going to show you the first time that I do it and cut out the second one, but just know that I went over it twice so that I could add a lot of height. So now I'm going to full cure the nail and then I'm going to apply a second coat of that 3D gel. And then after another full cure, it's ready for a top coat. Just a regular shiny top coat. And I have that Beetles liner brush that I was using for the like thick gel off to the side. And I'm going to use it as like a cleanup brush to make sure to get the top coat out from the little like divots where the seeds are, because if it piles up, you're going to lose your 3D effect. And after that, the nail gets a full cure, and that's the pointer finger completely done.
Hi. So, since I recorded that last voiceover clip, it's been a couple of days and I've gotten sick. So, welcome to Congestion City. So sorry. Now I've moved on to the middle finger, which is going to be blueberries. And I'm going to paint the background a pale pastel yellow. I'm going to do one coat of this and give it a full cure. I decided that behind the blueberries, I really wanted a little more contrast. So I'm going to do another aura effect, and I'm using the Nails by Dove liner gel in Hunch Punch. It's this crazy bright orange, and I'm just going to add it in the middle of this yellow to kind of create that contrast between the dark blue blueberries and the yellow background. When I'm happy with that, I'm gonna give it a full cure. And now I'm gonna sculpt out the blueberries. So I'm gonna be using some nail clay gel, which I've never done before. And I got it from Savaland. Well, I got it on Amazon, but it's Savaland brand. And this is their 9D nail art gel. 9D. 9. Let's just take that in. Anyway, I got the blue color out because we're making blueberries, and I'm wearing gloves because this is uncured gel that I'm touching, and you don't want to touch that with your bare hands or you can get an allergy. And I just dropped it. So I'm rolling it into a ball first. And I'm actually going to put this directly onto the nail and sculpt from there. I know that there are other ways. You can do it on a palette and then cure it and take it off and attach it to the nail. You can do it on another nail to make sure that it's curved like a nail. There's lots of ways of doing this. This was my first time. I kept it simple. And now I am making a second blueberry. This one is going to be the bigger of the two. So I'm making another ball and putting it on the nail. Now, before curing, I'm going to make it really look like a blueberry. First, I'm going to take this silicone tool and take kind of a flat end and just kind of make sure that the shape is exactly what I want it to look like. Now, these silicone tools, they typically come in like a set, and they're kind of everywhere. I think I got these on Amazon, but you can find them on Shein or Temu or AliExpress or wherever. And now with a brush dipped in some alcohol, I'm going to kind of smooth out the blueberries and just make it, bump free. And now I'm going to take that same silicone tool, except the other end, because it's kind of pokey, and I'm going to make a hole in the top of both of my blueberries. Once I am happy with my blueberries, I'm going to give them a full cure. And now I'm going to add shading and highlighting. I'm going to use the shading and highlight gel from Nails by Deb. It's still out on my palette, so I'm going to use that. And instead of explaining exactly what I'm doing, I'll just let you see it. once I'm done shading and highlighting, I am going to fully cure the whole nail, and then I'm going to make the leaves. And instead of doing this in green, I didn't have the exact right shade of green in the clay, so I grabbed a milky white solid building gel, and I'm just going to sculpt them out of this and then paint them. So I basically did the same thing that I did with the blueberries. I sculpted it out with my fingers, put it on the nail, used a silicone tool, and then took some alcohol on a little cleanup brush and cleaned it all up. Then I'm going to give it a full cure, and now I'm going to do the same thing 2 more times. So around this time, I have the most brilliant idea to take the silicone tool and to make a little indent, like it's the center of the leaf. And then I tried to do it on the cured one because I was like, oh, I wanted to do it on this one so bad, but obviously I couldn't, and then I cured it. And then my dog stopped in and he wanted to wave hello. And now I'm going to start painting the leaves. I'm going to use the Level Up liner by Nails by Dev in Slime Time. And I did this kind of messily, like I got it on like the background of the nail. And later I went in with alcohol and wiped it off before I cured it. And now I'm going to use that shading gel again and draw the details on the middle of the leaves, like the veining and stuff that you would see on a real leaf. And once that's done, I'm going to give it a full cure. And then the only thing that's left is to top coat the whole nail. And that is the completed middle finger with blueberries. And now we can move on to the ring finger, which is going to be an apple. I'm going to start by painting the entire nail with one coat of that same pale yellow color as before, and then giving it a cure. Now I'm going to be taking some of my white liner gel and I'm going to put it out on my palette, and once again I'm going to be doing an aura effect. It's going to lighten up the center of this yellow color, which is going to be like the core of the apple. Once that's cured, I'm taking out a red liner gel. This is Oops, I Did It Again. Love that name. Love it so much. And I'm going to draw the skin of the apple. Ugh, that just gave me the ick. Skin of the apple. And this apple is going to be bitten into, and it's going to show, a cross section of it. So I'm starting with a vertical line going down the middle, and I do the same thing on the bottom also. And then I am painting in the cuticle area, and then I will connect it. So I decided to make the seeds 3D also. So I'm taking the Savaland 9D. I'm taking my black clay and I'm going to make 2 little seeds. So now I'm going to sculpt a little worm to put on my apple. I saw this done on some nails that other people did, and I just simply loved it. So I took the sculpting clay in the shade Nude, and I'm going to make a little wormy. And again, I'm going to smooth over the surface with a cleanup brush and some rubbing alcohol. Once that's cured, I'm going to take that shading gel and I'm going to do lines across, like horizontally across the worm, making its like segments, I guess is what they're called. Now I'm going to take my black liner gel and a really teeny brush. This is a Nails by Dev Dream Liner, and this is the 5mm. It's very, very small. And I'm going to make little teeny eyeballs on Mr. Wormy here. And I'm going to go ahead and cure that. And next I'm going to take this same brush, but with the shading gel, and I'm going to add shading to my apple. And now that the shading is done, I'm switching over to highlighting with this same brush. The last step is to do a shiny top coat all over this whole nail and cure it, and this one is done. And now we are officially on the last finger, the pinky nail. which is going to be an orange. So I'm taking a bright orange gel polish. This one is by McCart. I got it in a set off of Amazon years ago. I've had this for a really long time. But it's just a bright orange color, and I'm going to do one coat of this and then cure. Oop, I lied. I'm going to do 2 coats. And now with my Hella Cute liner brush and my white gel liner, I'm going to make basically an orange slice on here. I start by doing like a reverse French tip up by the cuticle, and then I'm going to make lines going down toward the free edge. Now I'm going to take that shading gel and that little 5mm liner brush, and I'm going to make kind of random spots along the cuticle area of this nail. This is supposed to make it look like a rind. Now I'm going to take my Gen B Crazy Top Thick Gel and a Beetles liner brush, and I am going to make the middle of the orange slice 3D. And of course the rest of this was completely out of frame, but I just made 3D lines going straight down the nail. I flash cured in between, and then at the end I did a full cure. And then the final step is to put a top coat on this nail, give it a full cure, and this set is done. So let me know what you think of these down in the comments, and also please include if you like how I edited this, or if you would rather me speed up the clips when I'm just like putting on a top coat. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.